Yeah, so what is the alternative to not being able to make it out the hood, making it out the matrix? If you are not able to create your own side income or supplemental income, like an investing strategy that you have with a taxable brokerage income or taxable brokerage account or a 41k, HSA, etc. If you aren't able to figure that out, if you're not able to build a business or a personal brand or something that generates you money on the side, it could be a side business, it could be some sales, then what the hell, right? What is the alternative to not being able to generate enough income per month to supplement or complement or even sustain what you're doing right now? The alternative is just continue to work until you just can't anymore. And that's pretty much that's pretty whack. If we're just screwed to the point where we are not able to figure out how to cash flow our expenses, then that's a problem, because we know our number one wealth income tool is wealth building. A tool is our income, right? Whether it be making 30, 40k to 150k, you need to understand that your income needs to match your expenses, and your expenses is heavily dependent on where do you live, and especially how you live too, because we have seen multiple examples, albeit very little, that those who make under 50k turn out to be millionaires by the time they retire. How does that happen? It's because they live below their means, and they make sure they don't spend as much as somebody who makes a lot more would, right? And I get the argument. Investing strategies, the ones that work, take time to build, and I understand the argument. Hey, like, I want the wealth now, I want the income now. How does that, what can we do to translate to, okay, I have enough going on for me right now, but what else, right? Income from a taxable brokerage takes time to build, but I understand the need and the want to get something done right now. And so the purpose of this video is not to say, hey, like, let's go ahead and open up 6 LLCs, wake up, fall asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, but wake up at 3:59, like a negative minute of sleep type bullshit. No, I'm not here to say that. What I'm here to say is, if you don't figure it out, then working is the rest of your life. Working is the rest of your life. If you refuse to just keep, if you refuse to not figure it out. Working is the rest of your life if you decide to keep messing up, if you decide to keep screwing up. And that's the idea of this video. The rest of our lives kind of topic is simple. Whatever you feel stuck in will not change if nothing drastic happens to your day to day. And what does that mean? I go to work, we all go to work, and when we go to work, we're kind of locked in for like 8 hours of our life daily. And we can't really do much about it. And the point of what I'm trying to say here is, those who have risked it all, who have risked a healthy income or a high paying income just for a little try at financial freedom and liberty, some people don't make it and others do. But the idea is quitting and having the pressure to not basically screwing up. Having the pressure where you don't have that steady income anymore, where you don't have that comfort anymore. And all of that leads to, okay, if I only have a certain amount of income to live off of because I quit, then I'm going to have to really figure it out, really understand something, really connect something in my head and in my body to make sure that I'm able to cash flow whatever it is I'm building until it builds. But that's a big if too. So what other skills can we work on right now to translate into value being provided to potential clients? And that's the big issue that clients want resolved. What issues do they have that you can resolve given the skills that you have? And if you don't have the skills, then what can you do right now, considering your strengths and weaknesses, that you can work on so you can provide a certain value that clients pay for, and start to build and start to roll over that business? And it's hard because it's hard depending on who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to a recent college student with a STEM degree, then it's a bit easier because the person, this type of person has built enough skill level to justify to a potential employer that, hey, like, I have the means, I have the knowledge, and I'm capable of resolving certain kind of issues within your team. And that's where you start to develop the skill of sales, and specifically selling yourself to the employer. Even though it sounds kind of weird, but that's essentially what it is. You are selling yourself to your potential manager, the hiring manager, to convince this person that you are the ideal person for the job. But when it comes to the job market, you're not the only person who's competent enough to satisfy the requirements of that role. So it's easier to talk to this kind of person because they're a lot quicker to translate the skills that they already have to clients. It's kind of like the Big Four. They are consulting firms. They gather clients, and the client's main issue is that they have increasing revenue and also increasing costs. And the obvious thing here is to decrease costs, right? And go figure, right? But the point of the consultant is to understand where to cut costs without screwing up a lot of things, right? And that's where a couple of things come into play. Skills, understanding what to analyze and how to analyze it, and the other set of skills, which is the soft skills, being able to translate what you have found into the language that the client cares about. What do they care about is obviously the decrease in the cost that they have, but also understanding the overall impact that will affect their team, their business, and their milestones for that quarter or even year. And this is the harder part, because if you aren't able to translate whatever it is that you can provide to the client, how it will impact that person's, I guess, goals and objectives and the current problem that they have right now, then it's harder to close on that sale. It really is, because at the end of the day, you are trying to sell a product to the client, and the client needs to find enough value to justify paying you a certain amount of cash, and that's facts. So the point of this video too, because I'm also trying to build something here. I'm also trying to build a small YouTube channel. I'm trying to gather enough attention. It's hard because, well, it's just hard. But part of the idea here, part of the angle that I'm playing at, is I'm trying to provide a certain level of value to the audience that I'm trying to appeal to, so they can appeal to me and so they can watch my videos. But that's a whole different topic, because once I understand how to do that, then I'll be more than glad to relay that information onto you guys, so you guys can build a personal profile or a personal brand. But essentially, that's the point of this video. If you aren't able to figure it out, whether it be through beefing up your skills, whether it be being able to translate the value that you provide the client, if you aren't able to figure none of that out, then this is the rest of our lives. We're gonna be here stuck working either a dead-end job, a delivery driver, or an office job, and kind of be screwed, kind of be in the mundane routine, and sit down at the office looking at the lights or looking at the screen and just say, this is the rest of our lives. And it could be a Monday, and you have just started your 60-hour work. Alright, fellas, later.
I'm going to kill her, you know.
Don't do it, Octavius!
Stand still, coward. Ah! You're a fool to get so close.
Fight me! Stand and fight me!
What? Hit him again? What an excellent idea. Your
Suffering has only begun. Stand still, coward.
I've got to stop this train.